All right, we are in Algebra 2, Lesson 2-3. We are adding and subtracting complex numbers. Today's date is Wednesday, September 16th, 2020. Who wants to read our objective for the day? Go for it, Wyatt.
Add and subtract complex numbers both algebraically and graphically.
Nice. Yep. Okay. The graphically part is going to be a little bit challenging. The adding and subtracting, I think, will be pretty easy in comparison. So our rule, we're going to add the real parts with the real parts and the imaginary parts with the imaginary parts. Each part is by itself. It's kind of like terms almost. So real with the real and imaginary with the imaginary. So our quick example. This is a nice addition problem, a good way to get warmed up. Who wants to give it a try? Shot, same word. Charles, yes.
So first you would add negative 71 to 88, which should be 17 positive. And then you would add 7i and negative 10i, which would end up as negative 3i.
There it is. And yeah, that's the correct answer, correct explanation. Question, Andres.
Can it be, or does it have to be in order? Like you have to do the real before the imaginary?
It's still correct if you decided to write out negative 3i plus 17. It's not in the standard form, but it's still mathematically correct. So I think Khan Academy should consider both of these correct. Yeah, good question. This one is a little bit harder now because not addition, it's subtraction between. Before we had this plus sign, now we have a minus sign. So we need to distribute that minus sign first, or I guess if you're just being really tricky about it and you subtract correctly, you can do it that way too. But just be careful, it is a little bit different. Who wants to take a shot at this one? Sergio.
So you distribute the negative, then it's positive 11, and then positive 6i. So then it would be 31 plus 11 equals 42. Right?
42, yep, we're just copying down what you're telling me to do.
Then it's negative 12 plus I plus 6i. So that would be negative 6i.
Negative 6i like that?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, and that's our answer. 42 minus 6i. I guess I should be boxing both of these answers. There's our answer for example 2, example 1, 17 minus 3i. Cool, we have both answers boxed. We did them correct. It's that straightforward. And that is one homework assignment right there on Khan Academy. Yeah, question, Sergio.
Could we ever go farther? Can we go 42 minus 6i in one lesson, something in the future?
What do you mean?
There's another lesson that goes farther than this. Then you do an I equals a number.
The one where we multiplied these together, or
no, you can do 42 minus 6i, and then simplify your answer in the future. Can you do that?
I don't know what you mean by simplify your answer. Like another.
When you get 42a and then minus 3b, can you go farther than that in the future?
Typically no. Typically you stop right here at 42 minus 6i. Just they're not like terms, so you can't do any more simplification. I hope I'm answering your question correctly. Okay, let's move on to example number 3. This is now graphical. So I need to add Z1 and Z2 and then graph it. So here's Z1, Z2, and then just go ahead and try to estimate this one mentally. Do you think that I guess if we call this thing Z3, let's go ahead and say this is equal to Z3. If that's equal to Z3, is Z3 going to be up there, up there, up there, up there, like down there? Where would you estimate it is? If you had to take a guess. I want everyone to at least visualize where it's going to be. You don't have to say it out loud. And then we're going to test your prediction. So let's come back here. Let's actually go ahead and call this thing Z3 so we can draw it a little bit easier. The way that you want to approach this one is to actually write out what the coordinates are. Gunnar, do you have a question?
I wanted to attempt the question.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So I'm kind of seeing a pattern. Z1's at 3, and then Z2's at -6. So judging by that pattern, I would think that Z3 is at 9 on the imaginary line.
9 on the imaginary line, so up here, or?
Yeah, no, yeah, 9 on the real.
Oh, 9 on the real?
Yeah, sorry.
Good guess, but not quite. If it was subtraction, you'd be a lot closer. Here, I'll show you guys how to approach this problem. So you want to write out the coordinates, or not the coordinates, but the actual number. Z1 is equal to 3 plus 2i. Why do I know that? It went 3 on the real axis and 2 on the imaginary axis. So with a quiet raised hand, can someone tell me what Z2 is, if I had to write out Z2? This is stemming from our lesson yesterday. Jose?
So it'd be -6 plus 3i.
That's 3i, yeah, there it is. And then you just add them component by component, just like we did in example 1 and example 2 after we did the distribution. So just add them straight together. So I'm adding the -6 with the 3, and that will be my new real component of Z3. And then I'm going to add 3i and 2i. That's going to be my imaginary component of Z3. And if I'm writing this all out explicitly, you don't have to write them out like this, but I'm going to do it so that you guys can see. Z1 is 3 plus 2i. Z1. I got some weird lag here. And then Z2 was -6 plus 3i. So when we add them together, what is going to be my new number? And then you're going to have to graph it too. Who wants to add these and tell me how to graph it? Andres?
All right, so when you add 3 and -6, it's going to be -3. And then 5i plus 5i.
Yeah,
So
and how do I graph that?
So on the real axis, it's going to be on -3, and then you go up 5 in the to the imaginary axis, and that's where the point will be.
Nice, and I'll label that Z3. Yeah, good job, guys. And give yourself in your camera a thumbs up, thumbs down. Were you kind of close? Maybe you can do like a 45-degree angle. Where were you? If you were kind of close, maybe middle, like totally off, thumbs down. I'm curious, how good was your estimation? All right, interesting. And I can't see Gunnar's thumb because he turned his camera off. Okay, let's try doing subtraction. He gave a thumbs up, nice, okay. What happens if I do Z1 minus Z2? Well, we already listed what Z1 and Z2 are, so be careful that you don't get them mixed up. I think in my pre-calculus class, I got them mixed up when I was going over this again. Z1 is the blue coordinate, and that's 3 plus 2i, and then I'm going to be subtracting Z2, which is our red, so minus Z2, which is -6 plus 3i. And remember that I have a minus sign over here that's going to be distributed into that. So I'll let you guys try this one and go ahead of me. All right, who can help me do this one? Yeah, Wyatt.
So when you subtract those together, you need to distribute the subtraction sign into Z2. So then that would make it 3 plus 2i plus 6 minus 3i. So
Okay.
when you add those together, it comes out as 9 minus I.
Nice.
And
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead
I
and
is
call this
also
like
equal to -1i.
Yes, yeah, nice. So how do I graph
So
that?
You want me to graph it?
Yes, please.
Okay. So 9 is the real number, so it'd be 9 on the real axis. And negative I is also equal to negative 1i, so that'd be negative 1 on the imaginary axis. And that would be your Z4 point.
Well said, yeah. And we have 2 more examples, it looks like. Does anyone need some more time to copy this one down with a quiet raised hand? All right, so I'm gonna move on to example 5 and 6. I'll let you guys copy them down. And then I'm gonna do breakout rooms so that you guys can check with a neighbor to make sure you know what you're doing. All right, Jessica, tell us what to do.
Hold on.
So tell us what the coordinates of Z3 and Z4 are, first of all. What is Z3? How much am I moving left?
Sorry, I'm not home right now, so I'm staying with some people. The coordinates for Z4?
For Z, yeah, Z3 or Z4.
Z3, Z4. Hold on, Sindel. I'm kind of lost again.
Okay, I'll help you through this. So Z3, I go left 4, that's minus 4.
Okay.
So Z3 is minus 4. And then how much up or down do I go? Do I go down to get to Z3, up to get to Z3, and then by how much?
Up 1.
Up 1. So it's going to be plus 1. Is that I?
Yes.
It is, yeah. It's on the imaginary axis. So plus 1i is the same thing as just saying plus I. You can say them either way. What about Z4? Help me find the coordinates of Z4.
That's right 5 and down 3.
Down 3. So if it's down 3, is that going to be plus or minus 3?
Minus.
Minus 3. Hi. Okay. So we have Z3 and Z4. Let's go ahead and draw them out. So it wants to be Z4 minus Z3. So I'm going to start with our red Z4 because it says Z4 first, then minus Z3. So Z4 is 5 minus 3i. And then I'm going to subtract the blue Z3. So minus this negative 4 plus I. Okay, I've set it up. Tell me what to do.
Distribute the negative.
Perfect. Yeah, distribute the negative. So what am I going to have after I distribute the negative?
Plus 4 and minus I.
Yes. Okay, perfect. And then what do I do after that?
The weirdest little.
You add, and it's going to be 9 minus 4i.
9 minus 4i. Perfect. Okay, and then where is 9 minus 4i?
We go right 9 and then down 4.
Down 4. There it is. There's 9 minus 4i. Thank you, Jessica. I know I put you on the spot, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. And then Gunnar, can you unblur your face?
It's not blurred. That's what I look like.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you look like blur your face. Okay. Really quickly, we have 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Can anyone help me do example 5 since Jenny's having technical difficulties? I see a hand that looks like Mr. Sindel is raising his hand. I don't know who that is. So I'm going to call on Jose.
And you just flip the order of the equations.
Yep, flip them. So you do Z3 first. So we're going to say negative 4 plus I, and then the second one is now red, 5 minus 3i, and we're trying to subtract these. So subtract. Okay, what do I do from here?
So it becomes negative 5 and positive 3i.
This can become negative 5 and positive 3i.
And then you get negative 9 plus 4i.
There it is. How do I graph that?
Negative 9 in real and then 4i in imaginary.
Yep, so left 9, up 4, and there it is. Negative 9 plus 4i. And that's kind of the end of the lesson, but there's something cool in the last minute and 10 seconds that I have here. check this out. If you draw a line between these two lines in the origin, so I'm going to draw a line between negative 9 plus 4i to the origin, and I'm going to draw a line from 9 minus 4i to the origin. Do you notice anything that's kind of cool about that? Hopefully you guys are nodding your heads. I don't have enough time to let you see it, but it's a straight line. And this is true. Whenever you do Z3 minus Z4 and then you switch the order, it's actually a 180-degree rotation. And there's a cool reason for that you get to investigate more in pre-calculus. It's not typically taught in Algebra 2. If you really want to know, you can come to my office hours, but it is a way to verify that it is correct. It should be a straight line. That's all I have for you guys today. For homework tonight, we have 2 assignments on Khan Academy, one graphically, one algebraically, and that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.